Wilfred Watson was a Canadian poet and playwright whose works are almost forgotten these days. He died about 20 years back. Instead of organizing his verse by syllable counts, he counted words and produced number poems that have a very distinct and interesting effect. This is a number poem of his called Essay on Castle Mountain. Essay on Castle Mountain by Wilfred Watson. One reason for calling the well-known mountain Castle Mountain its old name is that the word castle is fairly easy to spell. It is also an emblem, symbol, archetype, or ancestral image of shelter. A castle is the primordial private place, hence the old byword, an Englishman's home is his castle, which means that the RCMP cannot reach there, hence the never-ending hostility between the RCMP and the castle system. It was early one beautiful morning, and the moon still up when the RCMP knocked on my castle door. "Who's there?" I asked. "We are," said the RCMP. "Open up," they shouted. "Have you a search warrant?" I asked. "No," they said. "We just haven't bothered to get a warrant because we're the RCMP. The RCMP don't need a warrant. All we need is reasonable suspicion." "What's reasonable suspicion?" I asked. "We suspect this castle's full of drug pushers and worse," they said. "This is my castle," I said. "But you are not an Englishman," said a corporal, a rectangular-faced man of marked intelligence, but whose mind was scared by the ethical sensibility often found in typical visitors of museums of instruments of torture. He resented my castle, and my castle resented him. Ba-bingo, ba-bango, ba-bongo, ba-bungo, crash. Ba-bingo, ba-bango, ba-bongo, ba-bungo, crash. Crunch, they rammed down my castle door, which wasn't so much a burglar stopper as a feudal monument to ancient privacy. They lined up my family in the castle courtyard and subjected the males to rectal and the females to rectal and vaginal search, as a result of which my youngest daughter, whose passion was to become a nun, was charged with obstructing an officer in the performance of his duty, with assaulting an officer of the law, and with resisting arrest. Charges which were later dismissed as preposterous. No evidence was found. My wife was clean. My boys were clean. My girls were clean. My old father and Chises was clean. My castle was clean. And dirtiest thus of all, I was said to be clean. The incident, however, left mental scars on all concerned, though the RCMP blamed most of the distress on the castle mentality of the suspects. Now my second youngest deviant boy wants to play at RCMP with his sisters. My complaints led to an official investigation, and the RCMP justified their procedures vis-a-vis the viciousness of traffickers in hard drugs and the ever-growing number of drug addicts. "Fascist pigs," muttered my old father and Chises. My castle was violated, my sons and daughters dishonored, as they were, by the RCMP side with their mother against me. I am mocked at on all sides by my flesh and blood. In the ruins of my ancestral castle, my kinswoman Cassandra sings her mad song, "O Apollo, Apollo, my swallow, Apollo, mon Apollon, Apollon, mon Apollon, Apollon."